We're back at it again. What up, everybody? This is episode 146 of Ockey Budz. I'm your host, Drew Taylor, and we're back in the pocket. I'm recording back-to-back days, almost back-to-back days. We had Sunday off, but then, it was great doing it Saturday morning. I stayed home from work today, feeling a little under the weather, so this is my sick pod I'm bringing to you guys, but I'm happy to be here. I'm mailing it in work day. It's okay though. I don't got too much work I need to do for right now. Mondays are usually lighter anyways. So I figured, hey, why the heck not? It's 10:30 Monday morning. I'll record right now for the boys since I have some time. Man, I love recording on Mondays. It's way better getting you guys this episode now than a week after all this shit happens. So this is week 4 of our fantasy season, right? And we're starting to see some teams dominate. We're starting to see some teams fall off a cliff. So I'm excited to dive in. But before we get into the shit, I want to talk about me. I'm back in the shit, right? Was climbing out of a hole I dug myself when it comes to some of the parlays and things like that. And Sunday morning, I had 2 nice parlays hit. We're good to go. We're trending right back. I sent it to the boys. Sunday, gave it all back Sunday night in the Sunday night football game. I gave it all back. So that was a bummer. Definitely thought I was on the up and up after the morning. And yeah, I made some stupid decisions and right back to the shit we are. So we're in the action again today. Things happened well today. We're on a good pace again. But whew, man, that was a tough Sunday night for the Drewski. But hey, we're here for it. It's a fun time to be in the pocket, at the book, and we're doing the best we can, right? But I got a good strategy. I'm gonna stick to it and following some of your guys' leads. So I'll be shouting out some wins if they happen. And hopefully they do. Otherwise, I might be done for the season again. Clawing back, only to fall right back down. That's how it works. But didn't have too crazy of a week. Halloween was fun. We just hung out and passed out candy. Saturday, I went to a really awesome event for the Girl Scouts. My partner and I are speaking with them. And we went to meet the CFO again and spend some coin and give back. They have this awesome campus on South Mountain where Girl Scouts can go and they can like camp, and it's basically like a resort, like glamping, but it's just for the Girl Scouts. It's a really cool little campus for them all. So they have this big fundraiser every year, and I went on Saturday night, and that was a good time. Probably where I caught a bug and it started feeling like shit. So, but yeah, so trying not to get sick. So I'm gonna work from home today. That's really basically it. I mean, I don't have too much more on the docket. I think I mentioned this before. It's just like a rinse and repeat cycle for me right now. So, we're just hanging out. All right, so let's do a funny face before we get into the week that was. I forgot to look at this little hair thing right here. What is this, Drew? What is this? Let me fix this. It's bugging me. There we go. Looking like alfalfa as I record. What a fucking nerd. So I forgot to record a funny face or write down a funny face. Or this is off the cuff right now. I was just clicking around before I dove in here, and it looks like I found somebody. Oof, man, right on the. He had a great week. He's on Team Dollar Dollar Skrill, y'all, and I'm looking at Gabriel Velarde. Gabe Velarde. Look at this hairline, dude. This guy's hairline is quickly receding. Got a nice little widow's peak going. Holy shit, that look. And then his beard and his mustache. It looks like one of those fake beards and mustache you can get at a Spirit Halloween. Looks like it's not even real. Oh man, that's all I got. This guy's hairline is not looking good. But yeah, Gabe Velarde, that's your funny face of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoy those. I don't know. I'm kind of mean to some people in this NHL league. kind of mean to their faces. So hopefully you guys like that. Somebody should make fun of my funny face, like my dumbass alfalfa hair. So let's look at matchup number 4. Like I said, some teams are looking really good, some teams are looking really bad, real bad, and they need to shift things if it's gonna be a good year for them. Speaking of the teams that are looking really good, there was a shootout this week between me and Dylan Larpins, and I'm proud of my team for the fight we put up. Would have beat anybody else, but I was faced against the Tom Cruise Top Gun, and that is Dylan Larpins, who are 4-0. They have not lost this season. They are undefeated. They're beatable, and they crush me. I could not keep pace. It's just crazy. They have, like, this is what's great about Dilly Christensen's team. Larkin is off to a super hot start. Cole Caulfield, if it goes to the overtime, guaranteed to get the game-winning goal pretty much, right? His first overall pick, Nathan McKinnon, like, you cannot... He said if he had first overall, I was talking to him when we were talking about getting him the football helmet for a great group of guys. He said if he had first overall, he was really debating going with Nathan McKinnon over McDavid just to avoid the curse. And he got number 2, and he still went with McKinnon, and it's not looking like a bad bet. McKinnon is a dog out there. But, he's just... I mean, Cutter Gauthier, the Ducks? Pause for a second. Joe Ford, your message yesterday, I'd like to point everybody's attention to the Pacific Division standings. Hell of a text, because it's accurate. The Ducks are crushing it right now. I hate to see it. Honestly, I'm not a Ducks fan. Do not like the Ducks. But shit, when you bring people like Quenneville in, Chris Kreider, who's just a grinder, like who could not? You're just a hater if you don't appreciate the young talent that the teams like the Sharks and the Ducks are bringing to the table. So I'm a Kings fan through and through, and it sucks to see it, but like, dude, your team is sick. Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson, I forget the guy's first name, but McTavish, Zellweger. I think getting rid of Zegras, even though he had a good week in Philly, and Philly's looking good right now, I think that was a good move. I mean, you get the veteran leadership like Trouba and Kreider, and I know Gudas is out right now, but he brings some grit to the team, just like San Jose has Rivas. Like, these teams are looking good. They're looking fast. I mean, Dostal is a young guy. Who else am I forgetting? Jake Lacombe is looking good. Who else am I forgetting? Troy Terry. Like, look at all this love I'm giving these Duckies, right? And it's true. Like, right now it's early in the season. It's still October. Like, you can't win the Stanley Cup or a playoff berth in October, but you can lose one. That's what they say, right? You can't win the cup in October, but you could fucking really, really give yourself the hardest chance of getting into the dance in October. So you can lose it, but you can't win it. And right now, the Duckies are looking strong, and proud of them for it. I mean, you look at the Sharks, too, with their young talent of that Dickinson guy. The funniest last name, right? I always make fun of that last name, Dickinson. It's the worst last name ever. But he just scores his first goal of his career after getting a few assists. Obviously, Celebrini looks like the next McDavid, looking like he's competing with Bedard for a spot on the Canadian team. Will Smith is nice. Askarov is a little shaky. I think Dostal looks better, but both those teams, I'm not as familiar with some of the young talent. I think Eklund, like I said before, is young. I'm not familiar with any. I mean, you got Toffoli up there as the veteran leadership, so I'm not as familiar with some of the young talent up north in San Jose as I am at the Ducks. And plus, I just watched the Ducks game last night. That's where I lost some coin. But man, shout out to the Duckies for really having a great start to the season so far, and that young talent is fun to watch. Gotta admit, it's fun to watch. So back to the week that was. Dylan Larpin. He's built a great team around him, and then we'll get to his team in just a second here. But talk about the losing team second in this case. I get 50 points coming from my goaltending. So I do think my goaltending is good. Scott Wedgwood's going to lose some time because Blackwood is back, and Blackwood looked good. But, Spencer Knight is going to be the hold down the fort. I'm going to look to get spot starts every week and try to pick up at least one W from a random goalie each week. Lucas Dostal looks like he solidified himself at Anaheim. So if Anaheim has a good season, hopefully that's good for me. So I go from having 8 goalie points last week to having 50 this week. And my team really is a lot better if they have those goalies going, because I don't think I have as much power from my scoring as I initially thought. I have a good week from Alex DeBrincat, Martin Nietzsche, Leon Draisaitl, and then Brandon Montour, who has a great week after coming back. He lost his brother, so he has a great week. Other than that, which is actually a lot, I had a good week overall. I just got matched up against the wrong person. But other than that, I get my ass kicked. So 24 points coming from the goaltending of Dylan Larpins, and that's their biggest fault. If they fall flat on their face this season, it's because of their goaltending, because they had 230 points. 230 points coming from their scoring, their skaters. Zach Werenski, where is he? Oh, he's putting pucks in the back of the net on the ice. That's where he is. 30 points from him. Brian Rust, not looking rusty, getting 29 points. Nathan McKinnon, 27 points. Cutter Gauthier, 26 points. Cole Caulfield, 26 points. You had Mort Seider, 21 points. Dylan Larkin, 21 points. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys over 20 points. That's how you kick some ass. That's how you make a name for yourself. I think I'm looking at the teams with the 2 most points for in the league. They just faced off against each other, and Dylan Larpins was a stronger opponent. So congrats, Dilly, on a great, great, great matchup. On to the next one. Brother Bowler Joe with a massive comeback on Saturday and Sunday. Actually, the comeback started on Thursday. And I kind of jinxed it for Knives Do a Gunfight. I really feel bad about you, Ryan. I'm sorry I jinxed it. I was rooting for you as a fellow Kings fan, and I did nothing to help your cause. You started out great, getting some headway in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then all you fell apart. You fell apart quickly. And it was a big Sunday for Cuck Me If You Can. 32 points to your 6, Ryan. That's going to be a big recipe for disaster. And you end up losing by 22, almost 23 points to your little brother. So the little brother kicks your ass. Let's look at the losing team a little deeper here. That's Ryan Ford, Knives to a Gunfight. 23 points coming from his goaltending, nothing crazy there. And then only 129 points coming from his skaters. Tim Stutzel led the charge with the massive 37 points, so that's pretty nice. Matthew Nyes, 23 points, but that was really it. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, not really looking good. A good pickup for him, though, Corey Perry, 4th line on the Kings. Who would have thought a Kings 4th liner was doing well? You know you're in trouble when, as a franchise, when Corey Perry is your answer. I get it. It's nice to have him, and I like him much better as a King as when he was a Duck for sure. And I'm a big fan of him now because I didn't like him at first, and now he's the only player that's really consistent on the Kings for the most part, other than Kempe. But you know your franchise is in a little bit of shit when Corey Perry is your answer. So hopefully the Kings can figure it out. But I saw that as he picked him up on the 28th. So that was Tuesday. Wasn't enough juice. That Tuesday, the 28th, wasn't enough juice to get the W, but good pickup nonetheless for Ryan Ford. So shout out there. Need to see more from Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner if they're going to get more Ws. On to the winning team. Also, they both had the Detroit goalies, and it looks like Cam Talbot was the better pickup, or the better goalie of the two. So 22 points coming from Cuck Me If You Can's goaltending, and then 153 points coming from his scoring. Mark Scheifele, Alex Tuck, Leo Carlson led the charge. So congrats, Cuck Me If You Can. Kirill Marchenko, decent week. That guy's a fucking stud. And Nick Suzuki had a great start as well. So big win, and that's what I get. I jinx the people on this pod. So Cuck Me If You Can. You're looking good this year. I don't know if that's a good thing because I may have just jinxed you, but you get a massive win against your brother in the Brother Bowl. He'll have another chance to beat you later on this season, but right now you've got bragging rights. So great job, Joe Ford. Okay, on to an ass kicking. Another ass kicking. 1-800 Ramblers falls flat on his face and gets their butts kicked by Chippendales. Chippendales are now 2-2. The Ramblers are now 2-2. A lot of teams are 2-2. Looking at the losing team first, only 18 points coming from their goaltending, so that's really light. Forgot what I said about your goaltending earlier on Saturday, JC, but Logan Thompson didn't do shit. Frederick Anderson didn't do shit, and Darcy Kemper doesn't do shit. So decent week coming from nobody on this team. Only 91 points coming from your skaters. Not a single skater broke the 20-point mark. So I don't want to beat you up while you're down, but it was not a good performance from your team. So you get beat. And then you get beat by a team that's heating up. 46 points coming from his goaltending. A lot of goalies on this team. 46 points coming from there. And then 119 points coming from his skaters, all led by Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor had 32 points, and Andrei Svechnikov had 20 points. And Svechnikov had a sick goal against, he was coming down the right side against Matthew Schaefer. Sorry. Matthew Schaefer, the new defenseman who looks sick on the Islanders, and he just drives him wide. Schaefer couldn't keep up with him, and he buries it. It was a sick goal, so I saw that in live time. But yeah, Kyle Connor's looking great. Chippendales, not much else to write home about. You would have got beat by a lot of other teams, so good win. You're 2-2. So are the Ramblers. Ramblers, you could bounce back and have a winning record. I'm 2-2, so it's anybody's season. Okay, on to a team that's struggling versus a team that looks pretty damn good. So Everybody Loves Raymond beats up on Curse Breakers. Curse Breakers have yet to get a win, and it's going to be hard when you're facing a team like Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody Loves Raymond beats him by 50. It was a big Tuesday for Tyler Parsons. He had 73 points on Tuesday, and he really never looked back. I think Dylan only had a win on Saturday, and it was only by 9 points. So definitely didn't look good for the Curse Breakers all week. And man, he's winless. And in this league, there's no benefit. You don't get the first overall pick when you lose. I mean, you had the first overall pick this year, and look how much good it's doing you. So talking about that team a little deeper, the Curse Breakers have 31 points coming from their goaltending, so that's not terrible. 114 points coming from their skaters. Connor McDavid led the charge with 22 points, which is where he should be. Charlie McAvoy and Matthew Schaefer, as we're just talking about, 2 defensemen, 18 points apiece. And that was really it for the Curse Breakers. Talking about the winning team here, this team is just steady Eddie riding 2 goalies. As I picked it up last week, UC Saros and Jeremy Swayman, only 17 points coming from these guys. Looking to see Tyler maybe pick up a couple guys for a spot start here and there. But right now, he's steady Eddie rolling 2 goalies, UC Saros and Jeremy Swayman. 180 points coming from his skaters, all led by Connor Bedard. There we go. 37 points coming from Bedard. Lucas Raymond, 25 points. Jake Sanderson, a defenseman with 25 points. David Pasternak, Mr. Steady Eddie with 22 points. And then he also picked up Jonathan Huberdeau. He drafted Huberdeau in the 13th round. Huberdeau's back, had 17 points. Not great, not bad. Pretty decent, actually. But this team was really looking good. A lot of young talent on this team. I mean, we got Quentin Byfield, Jordan Kyrou, Matt Boldy, and then that's with Jack Eichel slowing down a little bit. So I'm sticking to my guns. This team and Dollar Skrill, I think, are the deepest teams. So Everybody Loves Raymond and Dollar Skrill. I do see you guys as being the bisexuals overall, but Dylan Larpin's team is looking fucking nasty. So nice win, Tyler. You are 3-1, off to a great start. And sorry, Curse Breakers, for your shitty start to the season. All right, I just mentioned Dollar Skrill. He kicks the shit out of Silver Acres Rest Home, not Resting Home, Silver Acres Rest Home. And Kelly goes back to his losing ways. So Kelly is 1-3. Dollar Skrill gets 2 wins in a row. He's 2-2. And we'll talk about the losing team first. Kelly, Connor Hellebuck did a good job, but that was basically it from your goaltending. 23 points coming from your goaltending. Alexander Ovechkin has slowed down quite a bit this season. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of spark in his game. This might be his last season. Minus 1.3 points coming from him. You did have a great week by Dawson Mercer, randomly. Mercer had 35 points, and that was a waiver wire pickup from you last Sunday, or maybe 2 Sundays ago, but so great pickup, 34 points, 35 points coming from Dawson's Creek Mercer. Here's a funny face. If you go look at Dawson Mercer, he looks like Dawson's Creek. There you go. Looking like pretty boy Dawson, just out on the lake. But other than that, nothing to write home here. This team is going to struggle. Maybe struggle more than the Curse Breakers. You never know. But onto the winning team here, Dollar Skrill, 25 points coming from their goaltending, so nothing too amazing there. But 38 points coming from Drake Bath with his son. Drake is getting cleaned up. Rub-a-dub-dub, scrubbing the tub. Drake Bath with his son. 38, nearly 40 points coming from that fucking guy. 27 points coming from Cal McCarr. And then 24 points coming from one of our ugly faces this week, Gabe Vilardi. So big top 3 performances there. That was enough to get the W. Dollar Skrill looking good. 2-2 on the 2-week heater. Chanel East Coast. I mentioned this a couple days ago. If you beat Russia, you're making a name for yourself. Chanel East Coast kicks the piss out of Russia. 3-1, and Russia, ouch. 1-3 start for Evan this season. Not looking good. And this was Chanel East Coast jumped out early from the start. Wins Monday. Actually, no, he wins Monday, loses Tuesday, and then gains it all back Thursday. So this is a pretty close matchup for the most part, and then it really ended on Sunday. There was quite a bit of separation there. So other than Sunday, this was a lot closer than it actually leads on, because I think, he wins by about 30, but a lot of that distance came from a 20-point gap on Sunday. So congrats, Chanel East Coast. Looking at the losing team first, pretty good goalie week for Evan. 38 points coming from his goaltending. A little light on the scoring. Tom Wilson and Evan Bouchard both get about 20 points apiece. But Chris Kreider does look good as he's back from injury, getting goals in each of his games back. That could be a good secret juice for Evan, because Chris Kreider does know how to put the puck in the back of the net. Doesn't like to get assists, but he likes to score goals. Tom Wilson, Evan Bouchard, 20 points apiece. Talking about the winning team here, Evan's 38 points in his goaltending gets matched by Alex Croto's goaltending. 37 points coming from his goaltending. Vasilevsky looking pretty fucking good. And this team skating had 150 points coming from his skaters. Sid the Kid. Look at Ovechkin had a great season last year, and now it's Sid's turn to have a good season this year. So 33 points coming from Sid the Kid. Travis Konechny connecting with the back of my throat. 24 points coming from Travis Konechny. And then Adam Fox with 17 points. So nothing too insane here. 186 is a good week, but it just was a real evenly fought battle. And Chanel East Coast looking like a formidable opponent. Chanel East Coast 3-1 on the season. So that does it for week 4. We've got 3 teams that are out to a hot start. That's Dylan Larpins at 4-0, Chanel East Coast and Everybody Loves Raymond with 3-1, and then a bunch of teams that are 2-2. And the teams that are struggling right now is Team Russia and Silver Acres Rest Home, not Resting Home. Silver Acres Rest Home, 1-3, and Curse Breakers 0-4. So a lot of people in the middle of the pack. If Russia and Silver Acres get a win, they're right back in the hunt too. And if Curse Breakers doesn't get a win this week, it's looking tough hole to climb out of. The highest teams points for, like I said, Dylan Larpins leading the league with points 4, and then Bang Bros, myself in second with second there. What's interesting about Dylan Larpins is he has the least moves. He hasn't made any moves this season. He's only made 2 moves this season, right? The most moves is 11 with Dollar Skrill and Team Russia, and Dylan Larpins doesn't need to make a change. That's fucking sick, right? He's just sticking with who he drafted, and his draft is looking nice as he leads the league in scoring without making any moves. I'm here for it. That's badass. That is badass. So, great job, Dilly. I'm sucking you off this episode because you deserve it. Let's talk about some awards. Damn, wish I could hit that button for the awards song. All right, your Trojan Condom top performer of the week. We got Drake looking clean as ever with bathing with his son. Drake Bath with his son leads the league this week with 38 points. Congrats, Team Dallas Skrill, I believe he was on. Let me see, sorry. Let me see here. Drake Bath with his son. Yeah, Dollar Skrill. I was correct. Tampax, Little Bitch. I'm looking at Ryan Ford's team here. Jordan Bennington. This was a hard one to look for. And the smooth move. Very tough this week. Tampax, Little Bitch. I'm just giving this to Jordan Bennington because he's had such a terrible start to the season. He had 1 point. I don't think him getting a couple of wins would have helped too much because his team did lose by like 22 points. But yeah, your Tampax Little Bitch has got to be both goalies in St. Louis. They're looking terrible this year. The smooth move, sticking in the Brother Bowl. Joe Ford, this was come a couple of weeks ago. He picks up Cam Talbot, and this really paid dividends this week. Also, Alex Lyons, he picks him up this week. Together, they get over 20-something points for him. If he doesn't make those moves, he loses this matchup. So, got to give it to Joe Ford. I'm not keeping track of these awards anymore. So, if you want it back-to-back weeks, congratulations. I can't remember all this shit. But congratulations, Joe, for getting the smooth move of the week. Nice waiver pickup, bud. Your Top Gun, already mentioned a bunch of them this week. Larpins, they're a force. Crushing it. Moving on. Your Pampers Poopy, 1-800-RAMBLER. JC, sorry, buddy. You just had to beat out Kelly for this award this week. You just had to do it, right? You know, you did it for a friend, JC. What a good guy. Honestly, it was a really good guy move of you, you know? You kind of, you know, you and Kelly are good buds from college, and you just hate seeing your buddy down in the dumps, always getting the poopy, right? He gets one win, and then he goes right back to being the poopy, and you fell on that sword for him, dude, because you're a good guy. You're a good guy. But you get the poopy this week, and that's not good. All three Fullerton teams did shit this week. The roommates, Curse Breakers, Silver Acres, Rest Home, and 1-800-RAMBLER all had shit weeks. Tokyo 10 not doing well. I think it's what your number was, Tokyo 10 or something. All right, week number 5. Ooh, Curse Breakers, you're up against me, and I'm not going to let off. We got the Leon Draisaitl versus Connor McDavid matchup. I hope to not give you your first win of the season because that'll mean I have lost 3 in a row. So I'm looking to get back on the losing record here. Excuse me. I'm looking to get back on a winning record here, facing off against you. So good luck, only kinda. You might be 0-5 after this week, and that's not a good start at all. Knives to a Gunfight versus Chippendales. That's anybody's matchup. They're both 2-2. I don't know what I've been told, but I think that Chippendales might get a W this week. Sorry, Ryan. Last time I rooted for you, you lost. So I don't think you want me in your corner. Chippendales, I'm going to go with you this week. Everybody Loves Raymond versus Cuck Me If You Can. I want to just say Everybody Loves Raymond's going to win, but Cuck Me if you can. They're a fucking fighter. They fight tooth and nail. So I do think Everybody Loves Raymond's going to get the W, but that remains to be seen. Dollar Skrill versus 1-800-RAMBLER. Both teams are 2-2. This is anybody's matchup. Judging by last week's performance, I think Dollar Skrill is the stronger team. So we'll see if people like William Nylander and Artemi Panarin can pick up the pace. This is something fun. I think usually people that like a certain player and they don't have them, that player comes back to bite them in the ass for not drafting them. And I think I remember Dollar Skrill usually has Artemi Panarin on his team, or maybe he did a few times in a row, and I'm just making that up. But watch out for Panarin to have a big week this week just because he's facing off against Dollar Skrill. Watch that storyline. We got Chanel East Coast versus Silver Acres Rest Home. Oh, man, this is a good matchup for Chanel East Coast. Looking to be a beast and be 4-1. This is the team to do that against. I don't know, when does Brady Tkachuk come back? Not till December. But, yeah, Chanel East Coast looking to get another win, looking to stay consistent here. That team scratches and claws for W's, so good luck to him that week. And then, Team Russia. Tough matchup for Team Russia. Russia can't catch a break. 1-3. They may have to change their name to Team Czechoslovakia or something like that, or Team Slovenia, Team Estonia, Team Lithuania. Who knows, man? Because they're not Team Russia, I'll tell you that much. Dylan Larpins versus Team Russia. Russia, if you're about to bounce back into the winning ways, this is not the team to do it against. Larpin looking to be 5-0. Russia might be 1-4. We'll see how that goes. Evan, you got your work cut out for you this week. And that's it for me, guys. I hit the 30-minute mark. My voice is getting tired. I love you all. I'll see you again hopefully early next week for another good pod. This has been fun. Thanks for listening. You guys are the best.